Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thaplial. Credit card, debit cards, PAN cards, even loyalty and membership cards all are a critical component of one's personal finance these days. Now, simple to use and store, they are the preferred modes of payment for many of us. But if your wallet gets lost or misplaced, you run the risk of misuse of these cards, and that's where the protection plans come in. Let's bring on board Kanishka Gadi, Head Liability and Banking Business, Anand Rathi Insurance Brokers, to discuss everything about card protection plan. Kanishka, good evening and welcome to the show. Although card protection plans have been there since quite a long time, a lot of people are not aware of it. Obviously, the kind of buzz that's needed is missing for this very essential part of insurance coverage that one must have. So protection of your cards and everything in your wallet. Does that mean when we talk about card protection plan?
Hi, Kavita. So, card protection plans have been in vogue from a very, very long time now. But as you rightly said, that not many people understand what are the kind of coverages that they should be taking and what is the kind of protection that they should be having. So, majorly, there are two large service providers in India who are giving these covers now. They are tied up with many, many large banks in the country, and they've been giving covers. Just to give you a flavor of what exactly they are offering, they are offering coverages on lost card liabilities. So if there is a card which is lost and if there are unauthorized transactions happening on those cards, they get protected. If cards are getting misused on account of counterfeiting or skimming, those kind of unauthorized transactions also are protected. Then the policies go one step ahead and they are covering your cost of replacement of the cards as well. In addition to that, we have coverages for emergency cash advancement. So maybe if my wallet is lost, or maybe if my cards are lost and I'm in need of emergency cash, that also gets protected under the policy. We have coverages for ATM duress under the policy. When I say ATM duress, I mean if there is forceful or gunpoint taking cash, which will happen in, say, an ATM, that gets protected under the policy. Pre-delivery frauds also are protected under the policy. So before the card reaches to the right recipient, and if there are frauds that are happening on the card, that gets protected again on the policy. We have coverages for if there is an international travel that is happening, we have coverages for hotel assistance also that is covered under the policy. There are some additional other coverages which some of the service providers have been like loss of documents. So if there is your e-wallet that gets lost or is misused, we have coverages for loss of documents like your passport as well as your PAN card. All of that gets replaced, and that the cost of getting that replaced is covered under the policy. So these are just some of the coverages that are available in the service provider plans which are available right now in the country.
So Kanishka, you know, our lives are online and we do a lot of purchase online. So when we talk about specifically making use of your debit card, credit card, or any online purchase or anything that we have to do, what is the kind of protection are we talking about over here for this particular purpose?
So when we talk in terms of shopping that we do online or any kind of activities that we're doing online, it becomes very, very prominent for us to have a cover where there could be counterfeiting of the card that happens online. Like we had a lot of cases as an insurance broker, deal with a lot of banks across the country. So we have seen coverages where counterfeiting is covered, and we've seen where banks have been impacted hugely on account of counterfeiting of cards happening and misuse of cards happening. So for example, there is a card that is put into the ATM, say today, there have been card readers that have been installed in the ATMs. They read those cards and counterfeit cards are made and a lot of cash is withdrawn, or again those cards are taken and used online in a fraudulent manner. So it becomes very pertinent for us to have this kind of coverage under the policy. I have seen plans which are being offered in the country where counterfeiting and skimming is not covered. So if that's not covered, the policy gets redundant. It's of no good use. So it becomes very, very critical for us to go through the finer print of the policies and take a cover for counterfeiting as well as for skimming under the policy, which covers any kind of transaction which is online, e-commerce. It has to be very, very comprehensive in nature, and that's why it will stand the test of time. As we see, it will stand the litmus test in the event of a claim.
Kanishka, now what about, getting your money back, what about the claims? Now, we know the protection features, and if someone has been a victim of any of these frauds or things that you just mentioned for which the protection is needed, how can you claim your money, and what kind of plans are we talking about in terms of premium prices and the tenure of the coverage that we can get through these plans?
So, see, as I said, that there are varied plans which are available in the market, and each and every individual would want to go ahead with the plans depending on the budget they have for these kind of policies in mind. But it is always advisable to have the most broad form of coverage which is available in the market. As I listed so many coverages before we started, so these are the kind of coverages which are very, very handy, and most of them can get triggered in the event of a claim. So it is always advisable to have all of these covers. And when we talk in terms of claims under the policy, it also becomes important for customers to understand how do they put a claim under the policy, because these are claims which are of very, very typical nature, and we need to have service providers who understand how to handhold you in the event of a claim. So before you get into the process of buying a policy, it's important that you do some kind of research, where what is their credentials in terms of the kind of claims that they've handled, what is the nature of claims that they've handled and how they've supported, and what is the volume of claims that they've handled, what are the nature of claims that they have actually seen as claims coming on the policy and they have settled them. So these are some things that it becomes critical to understand when you're buying the policy. And also, I suggest to each and every customer that when you're taking a policy, please read your policies, understand that what is the process of settlement. It is a part of each and every plan that comes to you. So what are the kind of documents that you need to keep handy in the event of a claim? If you need to go and register an FIR, which needs to be done on immediate basis, that should be done. What are your set of documents? So please ask all that from your service provider, because the kind of policies that we do as insurance brokers, none of our policies go without SLAs, which are service level agreements that we sign with our clients. We have all set of documents which are mentioned in those SLAs, and the client knows that in the event of a claim, what he should keep handy, what should be available, so that it becomes easier for him. And as I said earlier also, that the policy stands the litmus test, it stands the test of time in the event, and it becomes tangible. That is why we take policies. So it becomes critical for you to understand the process. Each and every plan now also, earlier it used to happen only in countries outside India, but now in India also, each and every plan or policy that is given to insurers, which is given to customers, has something like a claims process laid down very, very vividly with the policy document. So it becomes important that we read that and keep those documents handy, so that in the event of a claim, we are not in for any surprises.
What did you mention about the premium, the minimum to maximum range of these plans when it comes to premium?
So depending on the kind of plans that you've taken, these plans start from almost 299 rupees, as low as 299 rupees for an annual basis, and go up to almost 2,800 rupees on an annual basis. So depending on the permutations and combinations that you have done for your coverages, depending on that, the prices go up, go down. Also, there are some service providers or there are some financial institutions in the country who give the CPP, the car protection, as a bundled product. So that product is bundled maybe with travel insurance or maybe with any other forms of insurance. So that when that happens, obviously the pricing goes higher. So pricing options are very, very lucrative in the country, and
it's advisable to
depending
buy
on
a
what is the
separate plan. It's advisable to buy a separate plan and not a bundled product.
Yeah, it is advisable. It is advisable to buy separate plans and not go ahead with bundled products.
All right, Kanishka, I think that will be all. Thank you so much for being on the show and helping our viewers with this kind of a coverage today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
On that note, we'll take a quick break, but then post that